Welcome along. It's qualifying time for this week's GP event coming from the Nightmare Fuel event, a Halloween special, which we are looking to spookily get some big points from. Let's hope. Now, we've got some big driver boost this week, 10% over to Max Verstappen in the Champions GP. And we're also going to be taking a look at the extra 5 race points. This is an absolute must if we want to compete this week. Now, as well as that, we've got a decent boost. Ghoul Fuel is now the boost that is the reward. So we obviously want to make sure that we stock up nicely on that boost by competing in this GP event well. So your strategy guide has already been released. It was released on Tuesday. So if you haven't watched it, go and watch it right now. But we're going to get set and ready for action. So let's take a look. The Nightmare Fuel event right here. And obviously the sponsor task, we've got to use Mansell or Verstappen. Now, we don't have Nigel Mansell, unfortunately, but can we change that with a cheeky little crate? Is it a chance to get him? Let's take a look as we open up this crate. Is there going to be any Nigel Mansell to kick off this video? And we don't get any legends in crate number 1. What about crate number 2 then? Let's see if we can get anything from that. Antonelli, we get some motion. Any rares are a little bit of help. Come on. No legend again. Where are the legends in the legendary crates, chat? Where are they? And now we're on our final one. Just some epics. No big legends. And I don't think we're going to get a legend again here. I mean, what is the point? How are we supposed to get Mansell when you don't even drop me a legend in the crate? I mean, that is just asking for worst case. How can we compete? I will never know. So let's just open this Platinum crate. We've got some Gasly, some Mach3, and Valkyrie. Oh, it's always the case. 98 out of 100. But can we get saved, first of all, by the asset trade? Maybe we can get some Valkyrie. Or no, we can't. Let's take 60 of the thing that I can't ever pronounce. Let's go. So, Valkyrie just remains off, but luckily it's not a massive ask until the final race. We have got the Nightmare Fuel event, Champion GP entry. So let's enter into that for the first time. And then let's take a look. So what we're going to do is edit our setup because we have got Abu Dhabi, the first race circuit, overtaking and power unit. So we need overtaking drivers. We've got to use Verstappen. And I'm going to be using Lewis Hamilton. We're going to be rocking a 4 hard, and that is the car. I definitely like Flex. It definitely gives me a lot better race pace than that Curler, which is your power unit part, but I like to take Flex over Curler. But Lewis Hamilton is going to be a good usage. So they are our drivers and car, and we are about to get into it. It's race 1 time as we head off to Abu Dhabi. Our first race matchup then, we are making sure that we do our race points bonus. Max Verstappen or Nigel Mansell here in Champions. And we have got Mr. Max Verstappen absolutely ready to go. The question is, can we get home the points? That is what we want to do. 47 plus 5 available. So where do we qualify? It is 17th and 18th for Verstappen. And we're going to get to use our favourite boost. It is the Rooster Booster. We could use Ghoul Fuel, but I like a little bit of race start around this track because it is a very tricky track. Now we head over to our race screen. Here we go. It's race number 1 from this week's GP event. And let's see what we can do. Can we get a good start? Verstappen gets a good start. It's a perfect start for Hamilton, but hasn't got away great so far as we head into turns 2. Now obviously race start is always painful. Can be great. Can be poor. You never know what you're going to get. So, we go down the straight. P12 and P14. Now, a lot of work to do, but DRS is going to be key in this race and looking after those hard tyres. So, we carry on. Currently down the straight. P12, P14. Just slowly work our way into it. Don't burn out the tyres too quick. And now, at the end of the lap, we'll start a little bit of push. The McLarens lead from a Ferrari in 3rd as we get up to P11 and we get ahead of Gasly as well. So now we are in to P number 9 and P number 12 as we head to DRS for the first time. Down the straight we go. Hamilton gets a good exit and he gets up into 11th. As now, cutting through the corners goes Max Verstappen, and he finds himself up to P number 7. So P7 and P10 as we continue to climb. Now luckily, there's not a massive gap out front. They are only just coming over the start-finish line now, as Verstappen looks at a move. Doesn't get it done on Hamilton. Now he does, and now he's into 5th place. DRS about to be enabled yet again as we go round the hairpin, and now we trigger. So here comes Verstappen on a Red Bull, on a Mercedes as well. He's up to 4th, and Hamilton now up to 7th. A really good start here in Abu Dhabi. We just got to keep this going. P1, P2 ahead. They are on hards and mediums, so the hard tyre McLaren is banging the fight as now we go across the line to start our in-lap. So this will be our first pit and our only pit this session in Abu Dhabi.
Box.
And now we will make sure that we come in and fill the criteria. Verstappen ahead of Norris. Hamilton bang there as well. Just going to keep now. What you want to do is when you've got 2 drivers on the same strategy, make sure you just gain a little bit of power unit with your second driver. You can see Lewis Hamilton is on conserve at the moment because I know that I'm going to double stack. But with the extra little bit of conserve, he's going to gain 10-15% power unit. And just as we leave the box, he can enter the box. As now Verstappen comes out in P1. So Verstappen with a brilliant first stint here in Abu Dhabi. Now, if you are watching, let me know which GP have you entered this week. Let me know what difficulty. As Hamilton rounds the hairpin and now looks at a move on George Russell. We've got the 3 cars ahead of us that we need. Russell, Piastri and Norris. They are our cars to overtake. Come on, can we get through here? P5 at the moment. We're going to keep on pushing early doors. Can we get a move on? We can't get a move on. Hamilton's struggling to get past. And he's still in P4. Come on. We need a move. Verstappen has just lost out P2. Hamilton with DRS.
Through goes Hamilton.
Hamilton with an absolute blockbuster. And now Oscar Piastri leads this race. But don't worry, folks. He has to pit again. Has to. As Verstappen tries to hold off the McLaren of Norris, who is on hard tyres, but we have got good power unit. So, with Piastri into the pits, that releases Verstappen and Hamilton. And again, we are just cruising at the moment with Max, who has got Norris closing. A little bit of DRS. And we've just got some more team radio from Verstappen.
A race like this is incredibly satisfying.
He is happy in the car, in P2 at the moment. Very, very happy. But now he can just push and see this through to the finish. We are going to be a beautiful start here in the race. And that is exactly what we needed. We needed a good start, and it seemingly looks like we have. As Verstappen comes round now, we'll hit the DRS. It's a race to the finish between Hamilton and Verstappen. There they both are, both pushing. And it looks like Verstappen is probably going to come through and win this because Hamilton's power unit is struggling and he gets blocked off, does Hamilton. Now he's at a power unit. It's an inter-team battle as Verstappen pushes himself through. Hamilton with a bit of DRS to come back, but that is not happening. It is, most importantly, a 1-2 finish here in Abu Dhabi. That's exactly what we needed to do. We needed the 47-point start, and it should incorporate a nice extra 5 points as well. Now, chat, if you're watching, what do you reckon of the Christmas mug? It's never too early for a decent mug. Yeah, can't beat a big mug. Absolutely. Come on, 47 points to kickstart. Let's go. As we head off. Now let's have a look at what the rival was running as we get our champion crate. Hamilton 5, Verstappen 3. And a setup like that, look. They need more power unit. They've gone for too much more of a balance on that one. But we get the job done. We get a champion qualifier crate as well, which we can open up. And we kickstart with a 52 point. So let's quickly just open these. And then we can get in to see how many commons this week. As we get a box, which means we never get an epic. So we'll open these. I was in Series 4 for some testing earlier today. And then, let's open this bad boy. A few extra commons. Might be like 56 or something. It is 56 of Jack Doohan. There you go. So now we've got race number 2 coming up. Now, race number 2 features at the Circuit of Singapore in wet conditions. So the same setup is going to apply, but the driver's a little bit different because we're going to have to use a bit of Fernando Alonso for his race start. So Lewis Hamilton is not going to make it in this race. He isn't strong enough. He is great on tyres, but he doesn't have the race start, and we need to use Max Verstappen. So that is going to be our driver lineup, our combination, as we head off to race number 2, which is Singapore. We find our matchup. Quite similar team scores here as we head off to the qualifying round. This is going to be interesting. Can we venture off into a one-stop race, or are we going to have to bail out and do a 2-stop? There's not much into it because the pit time is relatively low here at Singapore. So it could still mean that the time is absolutely fine to do a 2-stop versus a 1. Alonso doesn't have the greatest of tyres. So we are going to stick on some race start power unit and tyre boost of Surf, which is a very strong boost. And now we'll head to the race screen. Here we go at Singapore. Can we get a good start? Race starts can be problematic on this game. Can we get away well? As we get a perfect and a fast, but we don't exactly fly off the line. Verstappen has got away okay and will get himself into the top 10 already, whereas Fernando Alonso, who has one of the best race starts on the grid, can only currently find himself in P20. P21 he went back down to then. So Alonso's had a miserable first couple of corners. He's got one of the best race starts and seemingly is not able to make it count even after getting a perfect start. So Verstappen will be in 7th place. Alonso had made a few positions. When you get overtaken by Stroll, you know you're in for a problematic race, I think we can agree with. 17th for Fernando Alonso. That race start is absolutely just dire. Absolutely dire. As now Verstappen will come through. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to do a one-stop with Alonso. That's why I was tempted to go for Hamilton. But we will see, as now Alonso is up to 14th. But I think a free wet is maybe the play up this circuit. Can we get Verstappen through? At the minute, it's hard to get through. As now we try and come through again. Then we get up to P5. Can we scrape Verstappen through here? I think we can scrape him potentially an extra lap. It's going to be tough to get, but we're going to try it. And now come through we go. And it's now a pit stop for... I mean, a lot of cars are going for a one-stop. I think Alonso's tyres are going to be killer here. It's probably a bad choice to do. Because everyone now is on a one-stop. We've tried the 2. I did think the 2 was the right way to go. But the problem is Alonso's tyres, unless we take a proper tyre boost, are not going to make it. So let's continue to push. Kind of like the undercut for Alonso. Who is now trying to get through. And he can't get through either. Look at this terrible race from Fernando. He is just slotted behind the cars around him. He's not making positions. He is shocking. What is going on? Get through, Fernando. Now we can make some positions. But the problem is, everyone's starting to come back out. Alonso is only 5th. And he has to pit still. Make it 6th. Come on, Fernando. What are you doing? Now, luckily, it's a very quick pit lane at this circuit. So we can focus on getting some power unit back. And I need to try and close the gap with Verstappen here. Got to. I need to try and slow down P2 and P1. But it is so difficult to do. Because Alonso just doesn't overtake. He doesn't. overtake anybody. I can't catch up with the pack either. Can we now get through with Alonso? We've got to make that extra stop. Verstappen's bang out of tyres at the end of this stint as well. So we definitely need a stronger tyre management boost if we're going to do the one stop. But maybe the AI will run out too. As now Alonso is back out in P9. Wow, it's just been an overall horrible race from Alonso. Overall, just very, very bad. But we're going to try and still... Look how slow everything is. We just seemingly are not very good at overtaking. As now, we can get to P8. Verstappen's dropped down to P3. I mean, we just can't keep up with some of these cars out here. It's a difficult race. And now we get up to 7th. But again, I just can't manage the tyres. I'm going to run out of tyres. I mean, I've got full power unit. Maybe a 2-stop could have been better for Verstappen. He would have had 2 full laps of push. Oh, Singapore is an awkward little track in the wet. That is certain. That is definitely certain. I think a 2-stop with Verstappen might have worked better because we just simply can't push. As now Alonso's trying to get through. We've still got Hamilton right in front of us. Now we're up to 6th with Alonso, who's done well to get to where he has. We'll use a bit of DRS with Verstappen. A bit of DRS then with Alonso. And it's going to be what looks to be a P3 finish if he can hold on. Whereas Alonso up to P5. So that 2-stop worked well in the end. Look how much time Alonso claimed. And I think we made a strategy call incorrect there. I think we could have either got rid of Alonso and took Hamilton for the 1-stop. Or we need a little bit more tyre boost to get that free wet comfortably. Because we didn't have any push. And if you leave that much power unit on the sidelines, that is so much pace we've lost out on. But 42 points, a little bit of learning there for me. And I think definitely Verstappen on a 2-stop might have been a different game there. But you can see a lot of the AI going for 1. Level 6 for the rival. Same drivers. And they went for the full strong power unit, whereas we took a little bit of flex. So that is race number 2 down. A little bit of points drop, but it is still equating to 47, which is good. So 52 and 47 with a lot of learning, especially in Singapore. So we'll open up this Champions GP crate for a 56 commons of Piastri. And then what we can do is head off into race number 3. And that becomes tyre management and power unit this time. So same setup is going to be applying. But our drivers are going to be changing to Mr. Lando Norris. We could use Hamilton. And in fact, I'm going to use Hamilton instead of Max Verstappen. So we're going to go for that power unit setup. Them 2 drivers. Welcome back to the team, Lewis Hamilton. Race number 3. We're heading to Bahrain. So our matchup then, 1:5:30 versus a 1:6:27 as we head off to the circuit of Bahrain. Tyre management and power unit is exactly what we are coming for in this race. And we will wait for the game to load eventually. Looks like this player could have quit on us. It took a while to get in. So let's see where we get to. See where we qualify. It is into P17 and P18 for our drivers. And it is going to be a soft. Can I get Verstappen? I should be able to get Verstappen to softs. I'm going to use, shouldn't need too much race start either. So pretzel boost. Maybe they're hungry. Maybe that's what they need off the race start. A bit of hunger filling. And it is a real player. And they are in there. So it was just a very slow entry to the race seemingly. So we'll wait for this rival to ready up. Yeah, really slow. That usually means they have quit when it's so slow. But they are still here. And we will get ready to race. Pretzel boost for the rival as well as we go. Good luck. And let's see what these... I mean, average. Maybe they were extra hungry. Maybe we needed more than some pretzel. But the rival's gone pretzel and instinct boost. And we have got away okay. A little bit of blocking for Verstappen, but he gets away in the end. There's a great corner there. A nice tight line for Hamilton, and he gets through into P6. What a move by Lewis Hamilton. And he's already into the top 6 with Verstappen in the top 8. So a very, very strong start, as you would expect, at the circuit of Bahrain. As we're going to be coming through lap number 1 already, and we're going to be in P4 and P7. And Verstappen's tyres are looking okay on the tyre management as well, as we continue to push. DRS now available. Luckily, Lando Norris, who is excellent at these circuits, is only in P4 at the moment, as now we get into P2. So Hamilton into P2 with Verstappen in P6. Still got to make some moves. Here comes Russell, and we just can't get use of that DRS because we get into P1. Now Verstappen's got some moves to make. Not the dancing moves. It's time for overtaking moves. Verstappen into P number 3. Overtaking the double McLaren combo there. And he now has George Russell to set his sights onto. There he is, Mr. Russell. And it's Hamilton who leads the way. And there was nearly a move from Verstappen. But let's just take our time here. And just absolutely rise up as we go down. So Hamilton in P1. Verstappen now coming through as well. But it just loses out. Double McLaren's fighting back. That is interesting. And Gasly fighting back. I know we're gaining some power unit, but where has that pace come from? We have been robbed of some overtakes. Look how many cars. There is. Can we get any of them? As Hamilton pits. Now we're going to use a bit of DRS to try and break through. It's Russell, I think, potentially out of tyres. He's not. He's just taking a weird line. So lap 4, we are in. Rival is in as well. And Verstappen is already on his way out. Ahead of Gasly, behind the McLaren. So we got to use some pace here. We've got to get the undercut on those cars around us. We are into P number 4 now. So P4 for Mr. Verstappen. Now, can we get... We should be able to undercut this to P2, which would be a terrific little undercut, especially on the softs, as Hamilton stays in the lead, as P2 and P3 both now pit, and that will see Verstappen with clear air being able to absolutely fly himself down that straight. It's P1 and P2. We are comfortably ahead. Is exactly what we needed. On lap number 6. Rivals in P7. So they are still climbing their way through as well. But life is looking very good at the moment. As we lap Antonelli. So, 2 laps to go for Verstappen and Hamilton. Here in Bahrain. A return to form is looking likely. As Hamilton laps Bortoleto and Hadjar. We've got Verstappen currently 2nd. And Rival has now got up to 4th and 8th. Looks like Rival's got some decent tyres left as well to get even higher. As we use some DRS down the straight. And we do. But Rival, I think, struggling on tyres a little bit as well. Because that Norris, less than 25%. That's going to be tough. He might have to pit. Or does he go on? He goes on. So P4 for the Rival. But one thing that is guaranteed is we are going to get back to form. I told you these circuits are a little bit weaker when it comes to AI. You wouldn't think that from Singapore. But we are going to get some good points. P1 for Hamilton and P2 for Max Verstappen. The Rival comes home in what is going to be P4. He's pushing hard in P7 as he moves into P6. Will his soft tyres hang on to P6? So as he comes round the corner, runs out of tyres now. P7 approaches. He holds on to P6. A good job by the Rival there for 40 points. So probably 40 plus 5 as well with the Verstappen usage. And that was an unfair matchup for the Rival. Level 4 and level 5 that they were running. And of course, there is their setup. A little bit more speed in there, but for me, that setup is working well, but we do have some extra levels compared to that rival. But you got to take your luck where you can get it. So we'll open this one. 151 points we are on so far, which is still some good going. Apart from that dodgy race in Singapore, I'll be interested to see how you get on at Singapore. As now we head to the final race of Vegas, and this is where we do need to change our drivers. We need to go to our speed setup, wherever it may be. There it is, the speed setup with that Valkyrie. That Valkyrie at blooming 98. An absolute pain in the backside is what that is. Now we could use Sabre. It's not worth it for me. So I'm going to be using this setup here. 258 speed. And overtaking, it is going to be Verstappen and Mr. Hamilton, who are going to be in our lineup. So that is what we're going to be using. Verstappen and Hamilton to get that extra 5 race points. And 258 speed. It's time for race number 4. We head off to Las Vegas. And look at this for a matchup then. The roles are reversed. A 1575 versus a 1641. Now the question is, does this rival have the wrong setup on, or are they a pure good leveled account? So let's find out as we go to the inner city of Vegas. We go to the strip. Not literally, folks, don't worry. It's P18 and P21, so no massive signs of big qualifying in there. And I am going to use a bit of race start. I'm going to go overtaking and speed. So I'm probably going to use a bit of firework here to try and get that extra race start. To try and get through the pack early. As we go racing then here for the final time in qualifying. It is a 18th and 21st place start. It is perfect and it is a fast start. But will it actually help? And this time it does help on Verstappen because he gets up to P11, but not for Hamilton, who is still in P18, even with that perfect race start. So we now make sure we focus up to try and get some points. Verstappen in 10th, ahead of Alonso now into 9th. Hamilton finally gets through into 16th as Verstappen gets up to 8th. There's another move, so we're going to have to keep on trying here. Keep on trying to perform as we now try and get past Carlos Sainz. The switcheroo works well. And we are looking racy in Las Vegas. A little bit of crash. That was a little bit scary. But we survive. And now we need to keep on focusing up. Here comes a move for Hamilton into 13th. So we are managing to absolutely fly past some cars. DRS will be enabled now for the first time in this race. And we're going to head down to Verstappen usage to try and close that gap. The main overtake might come from Hamilton on Yuki Tsunoda. He does. He gets 1, 2, 3. Lovely moves. As Verstappen is here as well now into P6. Hamilton, can he get past Sainz? He can. We're making some really good progress. As Piastri, commentator's curse, comes straight back past us. We now are 7th and 8th. So can we keep on searching for some overtakes? We're going to get a little bit of DRS then out of that corner to use down the home straight for both cars. And we're going to try and keep on going. Here are the McLarens, look. And now, because we're about to double stack, I am going to make sure I conserve hard with Lewis Hamilton and give him every chance of some decent power unit. But can we find room past Piastri? We can. We're up to P6. As Hamilton is still conserving nicely. Both are now. And we're going to use DRS down this straight too. As now we're on the back of Max Verstappen. Now we use DRS. Can we get through? We do into 5th. We do into 4th. And that should mean that we don't double stack here at Vegas. So Verstappen will come into the pits in P number 4 as 2 cars go on. And Hamilton will follow in as well. Very slow pit time. That is why a 1 stop is so clever around here. And we get back out ahead of Max. So Max is back out. Hamilton is back out as well into P12. But DRS will trigger straight away And that is going to get us past a couple more cars. We need to get past that hard tyre. ASAP, they are going to be super slow. And we are, thankfully, ahead. Now, P6. Got to keep on moving. And that's what we're doing. P9 there, Sainz. Can we reverse move? We can't. But now we can try and close the gap. Here's the Ferrari that we can have a look at now. No move there. As now we get ahead of Sainz as well. So we can make ahead of Sainz. We can push Hamilton to close the gap. This is not the best race point scoring, but we do suffer on speed circuits. We don't have that Valkyrie to level 6. And now we do get into P4. So this is still working out okay. Remember, an extra 5 race points are available. P3 is just in front of us as well. So we're going to make sure that we whack that DRS and give him an attack. Can we get into P3? There is the McLaren. It is not quite the answer just yet. Here is Hamilton, though. Can Hamilton use DRS to his advantage? Where is he? There he is, 8th now. Approaching on Verstappen, P7. So we are managing to come through. It's not a huge amount of points, though. 39 at the moment. So add 5, that'll be your 44. Would have liked to see a lot better points. Hamilton is detached from the Ferrari and McLaren. This could be it for point scoring, because the other cars are pretty quick ahead of us. There is a chance, though, that we could get the McLaren. Can we get the McLaren? We're chasing all the time, and we're not going to get the McLaren. It's going to be agonisingly close for some good points. It is going to be P4 for Max and P7 for Hamilton. That is the best we could do. 39 points here at Vegas. I would have definitely liked more, but sometimes it is what it is. You score what you score with the luck that's available as well. I don't think there was any real two-stops in that race either. From a front-running perspective, you wouldn't expect any anyway, to be fair. So just the race start really was a struggle for Hamilton. 39 points. Alonso, Verstappen, sorry, did get a good start, but couldn't capitalise. And it was a tough matchup as well. We had Verstappen 7, Hamilton 7 for the rival. And the car, look how strong that car was. 273. They are pretty much a level, if not 2, higher than Valkyrie on every single car part. So that, I wish we had, but sadly, we don't. We settle for the 39, which will equate to 44 points. So that's not too bad in the end. We're going to open up this crate and then we'll see how we got on. And this is 56 of Lance Stroll. So with them races done then, let's find out how we performed overall in the Nightmare Fuel event. Champions GP difficulty, we went qualifying, and after 4 races it was a total of 195 points. So we dropped a fair few points in the end compared to what was out there. We dropped 8 in the final race and we dropped 5 in the race number 2. So we dropped 13 points, kind of, if my maths even ever added up correctly. And you know what? It's not too bad. It could have been a lot better. Could have been a lot worse. Singapore in the wet was a very difficult race for many different reasons, as well as Vegas is naturally a difficult race for us anyway, because we are on a speed setup with lower levels, not low levels, just low levels. Because we got to get that speed setup increased. That speed setup is a little bit on the weak side. You can see we're slowly getting there. Valkyrie would be a really good addition because you get an extra free speed, I think, out of that upgrade. And we are not far away on some others. So we will carry on. We will keep working at it. But for now, it is a solid result. It's going to get us through. And that's all that matters here at the Nightmare Fuel event. Good luck for your rounds. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and hit the like button. And we'll see you very soon.